We're live, well, not quite live, but you know what we mean, here from the desert, Phoenix Raceway for Frontstretch.com's post-race conversation. I am Bryan Nolen. He is Mr. Steven Stumpf, our statistician of all knowing stats in the NASCAR world. Steven, you had a field day because the stat of all stats were made by one man. That man won the Truck Series championship tonight. Who better than Corey Heim? 12 wins. So many stats that you could name off the top of your head, but let's talk about the championship and his just incredible final drive and the 2 overtimes that he had to persevere to get the win and the championship.
So Heim pretty much, of the championship 4, Heim had the best truck pretty much all night. It was a battle between him and Majeski. Honeycutt was kind of like a 4th, 5th place truck, and Ankrum, who hadn't had a top 10 here in 5 years.
Let's just say he was happy to be here.
Yeah, he kind of was around 15th, and I think he finished 14th. But, pretty much Heim was the best truck when it came in clean track. Majeski caught up to him sometimes in traffic, and with about 20 laps to go, it was Lane Riggs out front with fresher tires, Corey Heim in his wake in 2nd, and he was trying to hold off Majeski in 3rd. But all of that came to all of that got reset completely by one of the more egregious cautions I've ever seen at the end of a race.
Yeah, Connor Mosack had a tire going down, and it was visible to everybody except apparently him or his team. Or if they did see it, they just didn't come into pit road. Well, there was some debris on the track, caution waves, and all hell breaks loose, Steven. So my question to you, even if you have an answer, why didn't he come in and pit?
That is something that I cannot say. I am not the 81 team. I can't say for sure what their thought process was, but what I can say is that the driver, crew chief, and spotter all got called to the NASCAR hauler at the end of the race. And
that's not good, folks. That's not good at all.
No, it is not. And I tried to reach out for comment during the red flag, and they basically said crew member told me Connor's not going to talk.
And that makes it even worse. So, luckily for all parties involved, we had an incredible restart that the winner was the actual rightful winner. Let's dive into the first restart because there was pit stops. It looked like 4 tires was going to be the call, but Ty Majeski said no. He took 2 tires. Corey Heim took 4, and Corey Heim started 11th. Came all the way with one of the most incredible moves that we've ever seen. Describe what he did on that first overtime.
He went 7 wide on the inside, far down as the dogleg as he could, and by the time he was out of turn 2, he was battling Majeski for the lead. It was simply incredible. It was an incredible move.
In the words of Larry Mack, have you ever?
Actually, I have ever.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
What I was what I was going to say is that, his move in that whole finish, until that second overtime restart began, was that felt very deja vu to the 2020 championship here. If you guys need a refresher, Brett Moffitt was going to win until a caution for Dawson Cram. Very similar scenario. Moffitt and Finger take 2 tires. Sheldon Creed takes 4 tires, is all the way back in 10th, and Creed comes from 10th to 1st on the brand new tires to win the title. It took 2 restarts for Corey Heim to do it, but he pulled off one of the most miraculous 2 restarts I've seen to get to finally clinch the perfect season.
Folks, that's why he's my stat guy. I don't even remember who won last week, and he knows who won in 2020 here and what the pit stop was. That is why he is the best. Steven, last but not least on the Truck Series, how just historic was this? I mean, Corey Heim, he led every single race this year. Every single race. Super speedways, road courses, 1.5 miles, short tracks, intermediates. Every single race he led. 12 wins, laps led, top 5s, top 10s. Every single stat basically is broken. How do you characterize this overall season for him?
I mean, in terms of individual performances, hands down the best truck season ever, and probably one of the best NASCAR seasons ever. Yeah. You said at the beginning of this that I could go into all the stats. I'll share a couple.
Okay.
So 12 wins, breaks Greg Biffle's record of 9 in 1999. Corey Heim had 18 top 3 finishes in 25 races. He had an average finish of 5.0, which is the best in the Truck Series since 1996. He led 1,625 laps, which is an all-time record, breaking Mike Skinner's 1996 record of 15:33. I mean, I could just go. I could just go into it more. Like, you know, his last finish. In fact, like, it's kind of crazy that I believe his last finish outside the top 3 came at Pocono in June. And in that race, he was leading until he hit a flat tire under caution.
It is truly incredible, and we'll have all the latest and more information. I know my man Anthony Damcott has a great piece that he does every single week on Track on the Trucks. He's probably going to dive into all of this more. Steven, we got more stuff to talk about, though. Before we dive into Xfinity, which is going to be tomorrow, stop on into the Cup, because I don't think I've seen more of an eventful practice session this year than what we did here this afternoon. I'm looking here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different incidents, 6 different people, including Chase Briscoe. Tires. That's going to be the biggest story. We saw tires blow. We saw people get in wrecks because of blown tires. Steven, what is this? Why, should I say? Why is this happening? Is it because it was 50 minutes? Is it because it's a new tire? It's the option tire from the spring? If you have an answer, why?
Well, I might have a theory, but I will say that it's also good that it was 50 minutes.
Amen to that.
Because the teams, you know, that had the issues could at least have some extra time to try and figure out what happened. I can't say for sure. Might be the track conditions, weather, just you know the tire wear. You know, as we've seen in some other races that have been extreme. It also might be an issue of teams getting a little too aggressive with air pressure and maybe having it backfire. Like, for example, we saw that with Ryan Blaney at Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. But whatever the case. And it's odd, like, except for AJ, whose second tire was a right front flat, all of them were left rear flats, which makes me believe that it's probably more of an air pressure thing, and, the teams will adjust, but look, with everything coming down to one race, let's hope that this does not become an attrition battle on Sunday.
Like, listen, we all love tire wear and tire fall off. We don't love that much tire wear and tire fall off.
Especially in this weekend.
Yes, if there's one week to not have it, let it be that. On the stat sheets, Ty Gibbs was first, Ryan Blaney second, Austin Cindric third, Ryan Preece fourth. What are those four have in common? They are not the championship four contenders. The first championship four contender, though, that being Mr. Dennis James Hamlin. He was 5th, William Byron 8th, Kyle Larson 11th, and then Chase Briscoe was in 16th. A little concerned, though, Chase Briscoe ran only 25 laps, had 3 issues with his tires. How big of a disadvantage will that be?
Well, they're definitely behind in practice, but the championship four crew chiefs did come in, earlier today, and James Small actually said that he's not that worried. So, I mean, I don't know if he's just saying that because it would be... you probably don't want to admit that you are worried, and and they have the other teams still blood in the water. But I think we have qualifying tomorrow. We have almost 48 hours until race day. There's a lot of time for them to make up those issues, and and again, I think it's gonna be an interesting one. And I think another big question is, will we have the championship four drivers win the race, or will it be someone outside of it?
I'll call it now, and this is a little teaser. We're going to have a separate winner and a separate champion at the end of the day. I don't believe what Denny Hamlin said, that the winner is going to have to win the race to become the champion. I don't think that is going to be the case. Last but not least, Mr. Steven Stumpf, let's dive on into Xfinity and give our predictions. Once again, the guy that basically is like the Corey Heim of the Xfinity series, Connor Zilic, fastest in practice. He's got 10 wins on the year. Give me a reason why he won't win this championship tomorrow.
Because Justin Allgaier is a god at Phoenix.
There you go. I mean, simple as that. With that being said, though, fastest in practice, will it just be between him and the 7 tomorrow, or do you think Jesse Love and Carson Kvapil can get into this fight?
Jesse Love's actually fairly good at Phoenix, and he actually was pretty fast in practice, especially in the averages too. So I think they'd probably be the 3, and then Quapple would be a distant 4th. Kind of like Ankrum. That's probably my prediction. But I think it's definitely going to be a fun race tomorrow, and just have to see how it all plays out.
You want me to go first, or you go first with the prediction?
I'll go first. Even though Allgaier is amazing here, I'm going to say Zilich ultimately prevails because, if you think about Allgaier's right here, but his last win came in 2019, and a lot of stuff has happened to get in the way. Spring race here, 2024. Blew a tire with a 3-second lead with 5 to go. This race in March, had a 2-second lead, late caution, fades to 5th on a restart after leading, more than half the race. And then, and then just look how all the hoops that they had to jump through just to win the title last year. Last year shows just how good they are, and how they have the ability to come back to Phoenix. But Justin's last win this year came at Nashville Superspeedway in June, and execution has been a problem plaguing this team despite all the speed they've shown. And I think they may be faster than Zilich, but I think the teams are going to need perfect execution, and at this point in the season the 88 is executing better than the 7.
For me, it's going to be if Connor Zilich goes back in traffic, how is he going to respond? Because we've seen him panic and be a little bit just a little bit crazy when he is in a pressure moment situation. We saw that at Coda back in March. So that being said, I'm going to be interested to see that. You got the 88 though. I'm not going to go. I picked Zilich at the beginning, and then on Happy Hour I picked Allgaier. I'm going to stick with Allgaier just so he can be different, but I mean it is going to be the tightest battle that probably we see this weekend.
Yeah. Another thing I'll add is that the championship isn't the only title up for grabs. Unbelievably, it's also Rookie of the Year because, it's the Rookie of the Year is whoever finishes in the highest in the point standings. Connor Zilich has 10 wins. Quapple has 7 top 5s. So if the one finishes higher than the 88, he wins Rookie of the Year.
We got an owner's battle, too, with Austin Hill and Eric Amarola. We could have a different driver. We could have a different winner overall for the race. We could have a different owners, and we could have a different rookie of the year. We could have 4 different people win.
And none of them could be Connor Zilich.
Exactly. There's so many storylines tomorrow. It's going to be cool. So once again, stay tuned to Frontstretch.com for all of the latest. Steven, last but not least, you're going to be cooking up a sidebar. What do you have coming up on Frontstretch.com?
It's uploaded now, but I wrote about Lane Riggs and his race today. Kind of a forgotten storyline in all of this is that the 34 was in the Owners' Championship over the 18, and they were going to win the Owners' title until Mosak brought out the caution. And instead of Lane Riggs winning his 4th race of the year and the Owners' title, he finishes 4th in both the race and the Owners' Championship. So he was bummed, but, he also was proud of his team, especially with all the adversity they faced, and also gave his flowers to Corey Heim on a successful season, and he is ready to compete for a title in 2026. He'll be back in the 34, and with how he's performed in his 2nd year, he'll definitely be a favorite in year 3.
For all that, and then our YouTube content, youtube.com/Frontstretch, a very fired up Matt Crafton. I spoke with him. He basically said a monkey could be driving a truck. It's pathetic what NASCAR has done to the truck series.
Trust me, you definitely want to watch. Believe us.
It is. There are a few things in life better than a unfiltered Matt Crafton. So once again, youtube.com/Frontstretch, also frontstretch.com. For Mr. Steven Stumpf, I am Bryan Nolen. Thank you to Kevin Nix, our video editor. We'll talk with you tomorrow here on another edition of PRC from Phoenix Raceway.
Hey guys, it's Josh from the Pit Stop. Make sure you check out our brand new website, or our Whatnot show is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you so much.